President Obama says, racism is in America's DNA. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. In the 1950s, whites were asked, would you ever vote for a black person, no matter how well qualified? The numbers that said yes were in the single digits. Obama got a higher percentage of the white vote than John Kerry got 4 years earlier. He got a higher percentage of the white vote. And 95% blacks voted for him. For the first time, the percentage of eligible blacks was higher than the percentage of eligible whites who voted, for the first time ever. There's no way, if racism is in America's DNA, the man could have been elected. He then hires AG Eric Holder. Eric Holder said, when it comes to race, America is, quote, a nation of cowards. And he offered 3 examples of what he called pernicious racism. He said the move for voter ID was an example of pernicious racism. Are you aware that the majority of blacks support voter ID? If the majority of blacks support voter ID, how can it be pernicious racism? He also pointed out that black boys are kicked out disproportionately compared to their percentage of a given school student body than white boys are. And he called that pernicious racism. Some years ago, there were a bunch of black boys fighting after a football game in a school district in Decatur, Illinois. They were all kicked out of school. In comes Jesse Jackson. He files a lawsuit against the Decatur, Illinois school board, which was all white, claiming that the school board was racist. They defended themselves by pointing out all over the country, irrespective of the race of the principal, irrespective of the race of the school board, black boys are kicked out disproportionately compared to white boys. They threw out the lawsuit. The other thing that Eric Holder said that was an example of what he called pernicious racism is the fact that black criminal defendants who commit the same crime compared to a white criminal defendant gets a longer sentence. And it's true, about 12.5% longer. But there's something called the U.S. Sentencing Commission that explained why. It's because the average criminal defendant who's black has a longer criminal record than the average criminal defendant who's white. And at sentencing, judges take into consideration the number of convictions that you've had. And that's why. And the Sentencing Commission said that the reason for the discrepancy is because of, quote, legitimate factors. But here is the AG telling black people that you are still victimized by pernicious racism when the 3 examples he gave could all be explained away in non-racial reasons. Isn't that good news? That it's not racism that's causing this? And I'm called all sorts of names for just pointing out good news. Isn't it good news that there aren't 2 white mega hat wearing thugs patrolling the streets of Chicago looking for people like Jussie Smollett to beat up? Isn't that good news that didn't happen? Isn't it good news that that girl who claimed 3 white boys held her down and cut off her dreadlocks was fake? Isn't that good news that didn't happen? Honestly.